Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for always tuning in, and thank you so much for always following up. A few tips here today. As you have read from the right of this video, we are just going to be sharing a few tips for students if you're traveling from Uganda to come to the US to study. What are some of the things you need to know? What are some of the things you need to prepare yourself for? So to start with, the first thing definitely, and this is definitely catering for graduate students. You have already finished your undergrad and you want to come to the US to study a master's or probably a PhD, but I'm going to speak so much for people who are coming to do a master's because I'm doing my master's right now. The first thing is to ensure that you have already looked for the school you want to join. For instance, like if you're in agriculture and maybe you want to do a program, you want to do a master's maybe in maybe horticulture, or you want to do a master's in maybe agribusiness, you want to do a master's in agriculture education, agriculture extension, whatever it is, you need to first ensure that you have gotten to know the university you want to join. And within that, it's also very important that you establish relationship with these people. Most of the universities, they have websites and they have faculty or professors already on these pages, so it's better for you to actually go ahead and look for these professors, talk to them, try to establish the relationship with them, send them emails. Try not really to get your emails off of like the internet or try to use ChatGPT to write the emails. Try to be very authentic and write exactly what you're doing. Try to share with them your updated CVs. Tell them what you want to do, how the master's is really going to be helpful to you. And then that is really going to be very helpful for them to know, because unlike it is in Uganda that you're just going to apply and maybe probably be admitted in the program and all that, in the US it varies. When you're doing a master's or when you're doing a PhD, there's something we call an assistantship, or sort of like funding, which is supposed to help you to navigate school, because school is expensive here. So you need to have that funding. And coming from a background, I don't know about most of you, but I don't really come from a rich background, so like definitely you need to have that assistance to be able to go to school. So you need to make sure that you get that funding. Either you're going to come here on a scholarship, or you're going to come on a fellowship, or it's going to be getting an assistantship. And an assistantship is more like you're working with a certain professor, you're doing some work for them, and in return they are paying you like a stipend. And if you're working with them and you're working on campus, then it's going to help you to know, like it's going to help you like to cover up your living expenses, pay pay accommodation, get food. And sometimes when you get an assistantship, if you're lucky, you can get a full assistantship, and then you're going to have like everything is going to be cleared for you. So all you need is literally the living expenses and maybe accommodation. But if you're not going to do that, maybe you're going to get half, they're going to pay for you half, then some of your assistantship is going to help you to cover up that other portion of your tuition you need to clear up. Then the other thing is also to understand that it's going to be definitely a big change. You really need to prepare yourself. So once you have established that relationship with the faculty, you have talked to them, you have identified the university you want to join, then you go ahead and apply. So when you apply, definitely you go to the website of a particular university, there will be the application portal, then you go there, feed in all the information. You want to take this as slow as possible and ensure that before you start the application process, you have all the documents you need. Like for instance, you have your academic documents from your senior 4, senior 6. You have also documents from the university. That means that you have the transcript, and also you have your certificate from the university where you finished your undergrad. Then you also need to ensure the other thing, which is also really very important, you need to have money with you, because sometimes when people hear about all this, they don't really put into consideration the money you're going to spend. But like try to save some money before you get into the process, because applying for a master's here, some universities, because you're going to be an international student, so that's going to be like around $60 or maybe 100 USD. And 100 USD, that's about like 360,000 Ugandan shillings. So you need to have some money on the side to help you make sure your visa is up to date. Actually, not your visa, your passport is actually up to date. So all those different things. Once you finish the application process, you're going to wait. And within the application process, it's also, you need to make sure that you have your statement of purpose. So that's more like talking about why you want to do this master's or you want to do this PhD, how is it going to be important to you and stuff like that. And in case you need a video about this or you need help on how to write your statement of purpose, please just comment down below in the comment section. I can always come back and I talk about that and what is entailed into that, or just to help you proofread whatever you're going through. So I'm always available to help. So once you're done with the application process and you have submitted your documents, now this is the time to wait, pray, do whatever you can do, but just keep on. Hopefully you are being admitted, and hopefully you're being admitted with an assistantship or with a funding, because that's the thing we need. And there are also some other things we can talk about, like some of the tips and tricks how to be able to get the funding. How can you market yourself that you get the funding? Which people do you reach out to when you're looking for funding and stuff like that? Because that's a different layer of like different things we can talk about. But today we're just going to go through like the general things on what you need to do as you prepare yourself to travel, or as you prepare yourself to come and study within the US. Then the other thing, once you're done and you're being admitted, you'd receive an admission letter, and within the admission letter it will be like a packet. It will have the admission letter, it'll have the I-20, and then you'll be also required to pay the service fees. For first time, if you're listening to all these things for first time, this sounds like these are new lingos or these are new words, but eventually you'll get to understand them. So an I-20 is more like a document which shows, it details as to why you're traveling here. It shows the time you're going to be here, the program you're going to do. So it's really very important, because it's the document which is going to protect you. Like for instance, in Uganda, you're going to receive a visa for only 1 year. So the I-20 is basically what is going to protect you, because it shows the time you're supposed to be in the US. Like maybe you're here for masters and it's 2 years, it will show that you're starting in 2024 and you're going to finish in 2025, even if your visa expires after 2024. So that's how that is going to look like. Then a service fee, this is a fee you're going to pay. I think it's about 350. You pay it once, US dollar, you pay it once. And this is when actually now you need to have the connection. So you need to know at least someone who within the US, or maybe if you have a US dollar account, you can use that to pay. But in most cases, it's very helpful if you have someone already in the US to help you clear up the service fees. Then just to get back onto the money, please ensure that you have money on you, because sometimes when you get the admission, you have to look for money to pay for your plane ticket and also some upkeep when you travel here, because you never know. Sometimes you have to travel a little bit early, like a week before maybe your work contract begins at the university if you have an assistantship. So you need to ensure that you have some money which is going to help you navigate that one particular week you're going to be here before you start working. And even if when you start working, depending on the university you're going to join, some universities they will pay students after 2 weeks, some universities they will pay at the end of the month. So you need to understand your situation and plan accordingly as you're traveling here, such that you can have some money with you. And then definitely you need to ensure that once you get all the documents and you have paid, like for instance, you have your I-20, you have paid your service fees, once you get those documents, then those are the documents you're going to use to apply for a visa. So definitely the visa process is also completely very different, but those are the documents which are going to help you. And then for some people, then this is when you actually need to show more bank statements. So this is when actually you need to show more money, because probably if you receive a funding and you're not clearing up all the other things, this is when you need to show proof that you have funding to cover up the other money which is remaining. For my information, it was different. I was very lucky that I got another scholarship. So the scholarship was covering up all the other money I needed to clear up for. It was covering the fees they needed me to show proof of, so I didn't really need to show anything. So all I had for my visa interview was just my I-20, then the documents definitely from the website of applying for the visa. Then I also had my service fee receipt and also my receipt to show that I paid the money for the visa. Then once you get that, you go for your visa interview. It's different. My experience was completely very different. I went in there, I just gave in my documents. They never asked me any questions, and they just told me my visa will be ready. I know people have gone there and they have asked them so many questions. I also had a lot of documents because I was really very nervous for the visa interview. But as I've told you, everything is completely very different for each person. So just go there knowing that everything is going to be different for you, and just prepare to whatever you can do. Make sure you have all the documents you need. Make sure you have all the things you need. One of the most important questions is going to be, are you going to be able to come back to Uganda after you're done with your master's or when you're done with your PhD? And there you need to show proof. To me, my proof was that I was supposed to do my research in Uganda because part of my funding entailed me to do research in Uganda. So that was proof that I was going to come back to do my research in Uganda. So that really helped me, and they never asked me anything. Then the other question is always going to be around funding, but as I already told you, my funding was fully covered, so it was completely very different for me. So for you, if you don't have full funding, so this is when they will ask you for bank statements to show where the other funding is going to come from and stuff like that. Then once you're done with that and you go in for your visa interview and you finish everything, then they'll tell you that your visa will be ready, and then you will go pick it up in Kampala at the DHL offices. That's where you go to pick up the visa. You leave definitely your passport. Then after, I think to me it was maybe, I think after 1 week, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, I went, picked up my visa. I was really very excited. So those are some of the things we can really talk about, and I'll definitely come back to talk about the transition in case you guys are interested in knowing about how is it to transition from coming from Uganda, traveling to the US and stuff like that. But as I already told you, each person, my experience is definitely going to be different from your experience due to the different reasons and different factors. So we can dive into that. I can share how my experience was, but for the most part of it, that's it. The most things you really need to learn from this video is the application, then making connection with other people, maybe faculty and stuff like that, because that is really going to help you with the research. Then also a little bit of the visa process, how that works and stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching my video. It's always nice to talk to you guys.